Hello, my wonderful viewers. Welcome to my platform. This is Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of coming across this channel and you like what you see after watching, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video, even those without notification. Here we react to all forms of videos, international and local. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. we have our interaction section. You are free to call in to air your opinion about the happenings in our society. Invite your friends, share my videos with your families and colleagues. Do not keep this information to yourself. Myself, I will be sitting down here to watch this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section and leave our comment, our opinion about the video we watch constructively.
Let the Senate to say, look, Mr. President, you have only 6 weeks to deal with these security challenges decisively. Otherwise, you stand, the risk of facing an impeachment process.
When I saw senators speaking yesterday, I said, oh, for once, they decided to wake up from their deep slumber. There is no one so difficult to wake up as someone who is pretending to be asleep.
And pretending is the underlying word.
Yeah, pretending to be asleep. To me, this ninth Senate, with all respect, with all due respect, is probably the worst Senate that we have ever had since the time of Dr. Nnamdi Kanu, the first Senate president, and then Dr. Nwafo Orizu, who was Senate president before the Major Kaduna Nzogu-Chukwu-led military coup d'etat of January 15, 1966. And I want to also rate that the 8th Senate of the National Assembly was perhaps the best because they could challenge President Buhari, they could speak truth to power, they could challenge impunity,
right?
They could look at the devil eyeball to eyeball and say, devil, you are devil. That was how strong that 8th Senate was. But this one, I've always called them Mr. Take a Bow Senate. Why do I call them that name?
Right.
A person comes for screening for an important position, like a ministerial position or a position that has to do with security. And the person comes and they say, oh, introduce yourself. I am Michael Ozehome, senior advocate of Nigeria. Oh, we know you very well. Take a bow. Come on. No country grows like that.
So you're putting
because we
the
don't
blame,
interrogate them.
Right. You're putting the blame squarely at the doorstep of the Nigerian Senate, of the National Assembly, of the legislature. Is that what you're doing?
First, at the doorstep of the Senate President and the House of Representatives Speaker, holding forth for the National Assembly, the legislature, the first arm of government under Section 4 of the Constitution. That of the executive, I put squarely at the doorsteps of Mr. President, who has the executive under Section 5 of the Constitution. You must know that there is what you call the doctrine of separation of powers, which was ably propounded in 1748 by Baron de Montesquieu, a great French philosopher, that each of these 3 arms of government must be separate and independent of the other, but to have counterbalancing effect one on the other.
Checks and balances.
Yeah. So for the president, for the entire country, I would say the entire blame must be on Mr. President. Do you know why? Right. It was Harry Truman, a former American president, who said the buck stops here.
Right.
The buck. So in all my offices, on all my tables, even in my bedroom, I have that sign. The buck stops here.
So when the senators, though minority caucus of the Senate, come out and cry out and say, look, this cannot continue. The state of affairs, the state of insecurity in the country cannot continue like this. And more or less, you know, distancing themselves from the failure of the executive that you've pointed out, maybe the rest of the legislature. The president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, did not allow them to even put their case forward.
Yeah, because he's the one who has been stultifying the entire process. That was why I said I didn't know for once they could wake up. Because the situation has become so bad that the deaf can hear it, the blind can see it, the lame can walk it, the numb can feel it. We have a proverb. Okwi also mu yiyo who has a quick your toe also gezoa who make your be.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? The sky was threatening to rain. He says, if you were deaf, that you did not hear the sign that I'm rumbling, were you also blind? Didn't you see the flashes of lightning that heralded me in? We have gotten to a state where the pretensions are all over and nobody can pretend anymore.
So this impeachment threat,
now, is
it too little, too late?
Well, I will say,
how far can the lawmakers go in this impeachment process if it comes to that? If in the next 6 weeks President Buhari is not able to fix the security situation?
I do not see them carrying it out. I do not see them carrying it out. You see, because at the end of the day, impeachment, though provided for in Section 143 of the Constitution, has many stages.
Right.
It could take up to 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 months. And with us getting closer to the election, I do not see this Senate, 109 senators, mustering to third majority members to impeach Mr. President. So I wasn't surprised when additional, he mocked them. He said those speaking were minority of the minorities. And I felt sorry for Nigeria, that a presidential spokesperson will regard distinguished senators who are bearing their minds on a state of the nation that is so bad that everyone can see it. That even the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is now being infiltrated and being threatened. He would describe worried senators as voices of minority amongst minority, and that they cannot carry it through. Oh, he knows what he was saying.
What was he saying?
What he was saying is because the senators, I don't think, possess enough strong balls to do what is needful.
Is it the courage that's lacking?
By impeaching Mr. President as urgent as yesterday. It is coming too late. In fact, it is coming too late. They should have done this more than 1 year ago. Hello? When Mr. President was campaigning on the ticket of APC, do you know what won many Nigerians to him? What got them to endear themselves to him? He said, listen, as a retired former military commander and former head of state, I will crush Boko Haram and I will crush insecurity and I will lead from the front. That resonated with Nigerians because at that time, insecurity was already coming, but not on a grand scale. Yes, we have the Chibok kidnap, who by then was something from another planet. But today, hearing about kidnapping is like a child's play because it happens like buying akara from an akara ball seller.
You think we're numbed to it? And how more complicated does it make the whole thing? When you wake up in the morning, you hear about, a Michael Ozehome being kidnapped. I mean, you have been, unfortunately, in the,
I was kidnapped, and for 21 days.
Den.
Yes, for 21 days, I was in kidnappers' den. It was fear of death and fear of fear. It was death by installment. It was most horrific, most horrendous. When I came out, I was kidnapped on the 23rd of August, 2013. When I was released, thank God for his mercies. Romans 9:15. I will show mercy on whomever I will show mercy. And I will show compassion on whomever I will show compassion. It's not he that willeth or he that runneth, but it's God that showeth mercy. Thank God I came out on the 12th of September 2013. And I made a 7-point demand on the government. One of them was declare a state of emergency on insecurity. Declare a state of emergency on youth unemployment. Declare a state of emergency on infrastructural development. Declare a state of emergency on educational opportunities. I made all this. If you just Google Michael Ozehome, YouTube, kidnap, you will see everything I said. So I'm not just formulating it. I'm telling you something.
As far back as
2013. That is 9 years ago. So like Nostradamus, the man who saw tomorrow, like the oracle at Ile-Ife, that always gaze into the future to pronounce the next Oni to be. Like Oni Ogunwusi or Jaja the second. I saw it coming. And I said it. Listen, my dear. And listen to this, Nigerians. We are suffering from what you call the fate of the barber's chair, of perpetual motion.
And no movement.
And no movement. In fact, we are even retrogressing. We are like the Bourbons of European history that learnt nothing and forgot nothing. Do you know what is happening? Well, one of them, I think, additional one other presidential speaker say, oh, the senators are now talking because it is close to them. Really, we're 8 members of the Brigade of Guard not mowed down in cold blood. They say it was by a sniper. The sniper infiltrated from where? I always remind people the immortal words of a German cleric, prelate, Martin Niemöller. You see, Martin Niemöller watched the horrors of the Second World War, which took place between 1940 and 1945, leading to the destruction of the twin cities, 2 Japanese twin cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the atomic bomb. And there was human misery. Millions of Jews were gassed, were killed in gas chambers. He made the following immortal statement. He said, first, they came for the Jews. I did not speak because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the socialists. I did not speak because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the Catholics. I did not speak because I was not a Catholic. Then they came for the trade unionists. I still did not speak because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me. By then it was too late because there was no one left to speak for me.
Is it too late for Nigeria now? You have, let me paint the picture back to you as you have just done. Aviation is shutting down. Labor is protesting alongside ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, Lecturers Union in the universities. Bakers actually went on strike too. Thankfully, they have called it off. So practically, every aspect of national life has been affected. Everybody in Nigeria has been affected by this, including the lawmakers themselves who have finally cried out. But are you saying it is too late? Where do we go from here? What kind of reaction do you expect from the president and the so-called presidency?
The president, I expect him to make a national broadcast assuring Nigerians that I remain your president and a very strong executive president, able to defend your lives. I know my duties under sections 217 and 218 of the Constitution as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not just the executive president who is the CEO of the country, but as the one who can hire and fire the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Force, who can deploy the armed forces for a war or to nip in the bud a clear and present danger. I also know that I'm the head of the Nigerian Police Force under sections 214 and 215 of the Constitution. I want to take full responsibility that in the remaining 10 months I will be in office, I will defend and protect your lives and protect your property under section 14 of the Constitution of Nigeria. Because the primary duty of any government is security and protection of lives and property and provision of welfare for the people. But any government that cannot do that has failed abysmally. And that is what we are saying.
So in the
that is why the entire country is in a state of anomy. Nothing is working. The dollar, are you not aware? It has gone to about 700
naira. But
naira to the dollar. 2 years ago, I'm sorry. 2 years ago, when I predicted, because the dollar at that time had been stable at $390 for over 1.5 years. Then I told them, I said, looking at the monetary and fiscal economic measures of the country, at least the little economies I did in O level in 1974, and I made A1. I said the naira.
I wish I could say the same.
Yes, I said the naira is going to go up to 500 naira. Imagine someone predicted that about 2.5 years ago.
And
they say,
beyond that.
Oh, I said it even here. They say, oh, it's crazy. But today, it's 710. I had one of the presidential candidates saying, we will pay you in naira. So whether the dollars goes up or whether naira goes up or not to the dollar, it doesn't really matter.
Back to the issue.
We're in
now.
trouble, deep trouble.
Yes, and I hope we're not
deep trouble.
Oh,
and the earlier we realize
sometimes, Mr. Michael Ozehome, I wish we're just really exaggerating, the seriousness and the gravity of what's on ground. You say Mr. President should address Nigerians, but is that even enough with where things stand right now?
No, it's not enough. Of course, in addressing Nigeria, he has to hold the Security Council meeting. He's the head of the National Defense Council, National Security Council. And according to them, they are giving every equipment, every money that they need. But you must know, didn't you hear Abu Sani, who spoke to BBC, head of kidnapping bandits?
He says it's profitable to everyone involved, including
he said this is the biggest industry in Nigeria today. Where kidnappers kidnap school children, they just go into a school, take away about 100 to 200 children, keep them in the forest. They get phone numbers of the parents. They tell the parents, this is how much you are going to pay. But in order to preserve the lives of your children and save them from dying of starvation, you have to buy us 50 bags of rice, 30 bags of beans. You must buy us baskets of tarodo, tatache. You must buy us palm oil, vegetable oil, salt, foodstuff generally, including onions, so that we can keep your children alive for you to come and pay the ransom.
So what exactly do you think is playing out there? Is it really just about the money they get for ransom, or do they have a bigger agenda?
Some of them
has been said,
some of them,
because every time we hear them say, look, government knows what we want until government meets our demand. And then again, on the other hand, you hear that there's this international dimension to all of this, to all what Nigeria is going through now.
Whether you call it international dimension, like the presidency was said that these are people infiltrating from Libya. That is the more reason why you should snuff them out, why you should kill them, why you should take them out, if you believe that they are not Nigerians.
You agree with that Rufai who says just flat
some of them said, hello, you brought us into the country during the 2015 election. You wanted us to come and help. We played our role, we helped. Now, you didn't now sever the relationship in a decent way by providing for us to go back to our countries. You left us. So we had to go into the forest, and we must survive. So when they kidnap, they use part of the money to buy more equipment, because it is a lucrative business. Let me tell you, do you know one of the factors by which you know a failed government or at best a failing government, is when non-state actors dictate the tune to a legitimately elected government, such as we have. The governor of Nasarawa State, Governor Sule, has just told all the schools to close down.
Yes, following suit with what's happened in Abuja.
Yes, you're following.
What does that tell you?
In Niger State, in Borno State, Boko Haram and other elements have planted their flags on Nigerian soil in some local government areas, collecting tax from citizens and giving them passes for them to pass. Haven't you heard them say it?
How would you categorize Nigeria then? A failed state, a failing state? How can we return from the brink?
A failed state, one of the is when non-state actors. Another one is when corruption is rife and through the roofs like we are having now. Another one is when the economy is dancing like a yo-yo and cannot sustain life of the people. Then you can say it's a failed state. It will now be left for Nigerians to know from all the indices available whether Nigeria, that was about over $500 billion rebased economy by 2014, 2015, overtaking South Africa and becoming one of the three fastest growing economies in the world. That when you compare it with now, when Nigeria is said to be the poverty capital of the world, right, overtaking India, you will look at transparency, anti-corruption perception index, declaring Nigeria as number 148 out of 180 most corrupt nations in the world, and the second most corrupt nation in West Africa. So, when you balance that period and now, you will be able to judge for yourself whether in a situation where bandits are threatening to abduct the president of a country, right, and Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State,
and other politically exposed persons,
and other politically exposed persons, PEP, and they post this video. Are you saying under the present modern technological world, when you can even use your phone to know where these people, are you saying people in government don't know where these people are operating from? Have you not seen videos of helicopters coming down to carry money that are be paid as ransom, and the helicopter flying away in a country?
So you suspect complicity? We'll come back and hopefully we can chart a way forward in the course of this discussion. You're watching the Arise interview. Let's go for a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the Arise interview, where we speak to the newsmakers as well as ordinary people doing extraordinary things around the world and featuring the voices at the heart of the stories. I am Ngozi Alebu, where we still have in the studio a lawyer and human rights activist holding the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Ozehome. Thank you so much. It's been a loaded 30 minutes, so much, and we're trying to, narrowing it down to how we can make progress from where we are right now. You seem to give a very, very gloomy, conclusion to where we are. But can we salvage all of this? I recall not too long ago, Afe Babalola, respected, lawyer, said, look, let's really stop talking about election 2023. Can we fix the constitution? Can we address the challenges at the root, of Nigeria's problems? Robert Clark also said something similar. And now you have senators, though minorities, saying, look, if you don't fix this insecurity problem
in 6 weeks,
you stand to be impeached.
Yeah.
What does all of this really mean for our democracy? Is our democracy really
what it means
safe?
For our democracy is that rather than deepening, rather than widening, rather than maturing, we are having more problems. It was late Chief M.K. Abiola. I always like to mimic that great Nigerian who won elections square.
Fair and square, like they say.
Fair and square. the most democratic, most transparent election ever had. And he was killed so that he would not reign. But he reigns in the hearts of the people. He said, if it takes a man 20 years to learn madness, how many years will he require to practice the madness? We continue to say we are learning democracy.
Wow.
Since 1999, have we not been learning? Doesn't a child go from a crèche to a kindergarten, from kindergarten to nursery, from nursery to primary, from primary, secondary, university, then postgraduate?
So why
do we have to stay in one place?
Why are we not getting it right?
Yeah, because,
is it at the root of this multiple challenges?
The root of our problem has not been addressed. And that is why when people, when living legends like Afe Babalola talk about, can we look at this, our constitution? Some people try to dismiss it with a wave of the hand. I was one Nigerian that came out smoking, roaring. I said, listen to this 95-year-old nonagenarian. He's talking sense. He has seen it all. The man whose story is impossibility made possibility. Listen to him. The reason is simple. We are treating a serious ailment like leprosy with medicine made for eczema. We have not attacked the root of the problem, which is the root problem of the problem is our togetherness. When a marriage outlives its usefulness, won't the husband and wife come together and say, let us talk?
Has this marriage outlived its youthfulness?
Oh,
is that what it is?
When Lord Lugard,
or we just haven't found
when Lord Lugard
way?
amalgamated the southern and northern protectorates of Nigeria on the 1st of January 1914, the marriage was to be for 100 years in the first instance. Now, we never really agreed to come together as a country. We were already independent nations. Kane Bonu Empire, Oyo Empire, Benin Kingdom, great sages, Oba Ovora Amino Ogbaise, who beat the British in 1897, leading to the Benin Punitive Expedition. Nana of Ichekiri, Jaja of Opobo. We were already independent. The Hausa city-state, the Igbo city-state. But when they came and cobbled us together, or like America, that in 1776, as Confederates decided to go to Philadelphia in Pennsylvania to have a more perfect union and surrender their rights voluntarily. We never surrendered our own.
Can we come to that point?
Yeah. So we are saying, let us negotiate our nationhood so that we can believe in a country called Nigeria. When you are having a form to fill and they are asking you your sex, gender, your religion, your tribe, state of origin, your religion, they are telling you we are not one. Let us renegotiate and get a brand new constitution that enjoys the legitimacy, acceptability, and autonomy of the people, an autonomous, homegrown constitution derived from the people's will, not a militarily imposed document, which is the present 1999 constitution that had already been amended 4 times, which is actually a schedule attached to decree number 24 of 1999, which was while the 1999 elections actually held, even without a constitution. We are saying we can do this. It's not impossible. It was done in Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, South Africa, Iran, Iraq.
But the question is, when can we do it? I mean, this government has only 8 months to go.
Yes, it requires, if Nigeria, I pray, if Nigeria is able to weather the storm of the present challenges, and we get a new government on the 29th of May, 2023. The first thing that government must do, even if it is a one-point agenda, is to restructure Nigeria through having a people's constitution after subjecting it to a referendum and plebiscite of the people. Even if that is the only thing that government achieved, do you know why? It is like that.
But that government, would have come to power on riding on this present faulty constitution.
That is what I'm saying. You see, 21 million amendments of the present constitution can never solve it under Section 9. If a new government, that's why I say if we're able to weather through, a new government comes and is able to restructure Nigeria through a brand new constitution that is autonomous and deriving from the people, then it would have done what the Bible tells us. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you. Where and when Nigeria is restructured into a proper fiscal...
My wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.